How mums ran the house in 1940s. Britain. The 1940s in Britain were years unlike any other. It was a decade framed by war, rationing, rebuilding, and resilience. While the men were often away fighting, it was mums who kept the home fires burning, literally and figuratively. They became masters of stretching food, repairing clothes, raising children under difficult circumstances, and finding joy in the little things. To explore life in 1940s Britain, we need only look at how mums ran their households. They were resourceful, strong, and the glue that held families together. 1. Mastering the art of rationing. If there was one skill British mums in the 1940s perfected, it was stretching a little into a lot. Rationing in Britain in the 1940s began in January 1940 and continued long after the war, not ending until 1954. Every family had ration books with coupons for essentials like meat, sugar, butter, cheese, and eggs. Weekly allowances could be shockingly small, around 2 ounces of butter and about 1 egg per person when supplies allowed. Because eggs weren't always guaranteed, families often relied on dried eggs from 1942 onward, with 1 tin equaling a dozen fresh eggs. Children and expectant mothers were given priority rations of milk and eggs, and orange juice and cod liver oil were distributed to keep them healthy. Mums learned to make Woolton pie, a vegetable casserole topped with potato pastry, invented by the Ministry of Food. They used carrots as natural sweeteners in cakes and puddings. Dried milk and powdered eggs became staples in everything from cakes to breakfast. And when families managed to save enough coupons, it was usually mums who turned those little luxuries into celebratory meals, making birthdays or Christmas feel special despite the shortages. It's also worth noting that bread itself wasn't rationed during the war, but from 1942, the government required bakers to produce the wholemeal national loaf instead of white bread. Ironically, bread was rationed later, between 1946 and 1948, once the war had ended. 2. Make do and mend. Clothes like food were rationed, and every mum knew how to stretch wardrobes. In 1941, clothes rationing was introduced, giving families a limited number of clothing coupons per year. A winter coat might take well over a dozen coupons, while a shirt cost 5. The government encouraged women through its Make, Do, and Mend campaign, launched in 1943, urging families to patch, repair, and repurpose clothing. Alongside this came the Utility CC41 scheme, which guaranteed a certain level of quality for clothes and furniture bought with coupons. Mums cut down adult trousers to make shorts for growing boys, turned old coats into dresses, and even transformed curtains into skirts. Knitting was a household staple. Every woman seemed to have needles in her hands, recycling old wool into new jumpers. Children rarely had brand new clothes, but they had warm and serviceable ones thanks to their mother's ingenuity. Shoes were mended and resoled, socks were darned, and even patches were stitched with care. For many, this period set the tone for a lifetime of frugality and respect for belongings. 3. Feeding the family with victory gardens. The countryside wasn't the only place for farming in the 1940s. Backyards, allotments, and even urban patches of green became victory gardens. Encouraged by the government's Dig for Victory campaign, mums led the way in turning soil into sustenance. By 1943, Britain had around 1.4 million allotments, producing more than 1 million tons of vegetables a year. Families grew potatoes, cabbages, onions, and carrots to supplement rations. Chickens and rabbits were often kept in gardens, providing precious eggs and meat. Fruit was treasured. Apples, plums, and blackberries were picked and preserved into jams and chutneys. Mothers became experts at bottling and storing produce to last through the winter months. Children were roped in to help with gardening, learning how food came from the soil and appreciating the effort that went into each meal. In this way, victory gardens were more than just a food source. They became a family activity, a life lesson, and a symbol of resilience. 4. Keeping homes running without modern comforts. 1940s. British homes were far from what we know today. Central heating was rare, coal fires were the main source of warmth, and mothers spent time each day cleaning grates, fetching coal, and managing the fire. Hot water was limited. So many families had a weekly bath night, with water heated in pans on the stove and shared among family members. Laundry was a full-day affair. Without washing machines, mums scrubbed clothes on washboards, boiled sheets in big pots, and wrung them out by hand. Clothes were hung outdoors to dry, no matter the weather, leaving houses filled with the smell of soap and damp fabric. Cleaning also meant sweeping, polishing, and scrubbing floors by hand. Carpet sweepers were a prized possession, but most mums worked with brooms and brushes. Despite shortages, homes were kept spotless, a source of pride and a reflection of a mother's hard work. 5. Balancing work and home life. With men away fighting, many mothers took on jobs outside the home for the first time. They became part of the Women's Land Army, working on farms to help keep Britain fed, or took roles in munitions factories, offices, or even transport. On the buses and trains, women most often worked as conductors, but some did take on driving duties, especially depot or transfer runs. Balancing work and home life was not easy. After long shifts in noisy, dangerous factories, women returned home to cook, clean, and care for children. Yet they managed it, because they had to. Even those who didn't enter paid work often took on war duties, volunteering with the Red Cross, running local canteens, or helping organize community shelters. They became community leaders while still holding families together. 6. Raising children. During uncertainty. Perhaps the most difficult role mums faced was raising children in a time of fear and upheaval. During the Blitz, many spent nights in air raid shelters with their little ones, trying to make the dark and noise less frightening. Games, songs, and storytelling became tools of comfort. For some, the hardest task was saying goodbye during the evacuation. The first big wave in September 1939 saw about 1.5 million children moved out of the cities to the countryside. Later waves added more, and numbers shifted as children sometimes came home and were re-evacuated. Those who stayed together adapted daily routines around blackout curtains, ration queues, and the constant threat of bombing. Yet mums ensured children still had childhoods. Homemade toys, skipping ropes, hopscotch, and board games provided entertainment. Bedtime stories, lullabies, and love created stability even when the world outside was anything but stable. 7. Creativity in the kitchen. Rationing might have limited ingredients, but mums of the 1940s became inventive chefs. The kitchen was a place of experimentation. National loaf, a dense gray wholemeal bread introduced to save flour, became a daily staple. Powdered milk and dried eggs were transformed into puddings, sauces, and cakes. Carrot cookies, potato scones, and beetroot sandwiches all made appearances on wartime menus. Even drinks were improvised. Chicory root was used as a substitute for coffee. One famous example was mock goose. The most common recipe was layers of potato and apple with sage, though some households made a lentil stuffing version. Either way, it stretched scarce meat supplies and filled hungry bellies. Mums were also skilled at saving every scrap. Bones were boiled into stock, stale bread became puddings, and vegetable peelings were turned into soups. Waste was unthinkable. Meals may not have been glamorous, but they were nourishing and made with care. 8. The the social and emotional glue. Beyond the practicalities, mums were the heart of the family. They wrote letters to husbands, sons, or brothers away at the front, often reading replies aloud to children. They organized small celebrations, saving a little sugar to bake a birthday cake, making paper chains at Christmas, or sewing dolls as gifts. Mums also acted as counselors and morale boosters. With so much uncertainty, their calm presence kept families steady. Neighborhood mums often supported each other, swapping recipes, sharing childcare, or simply offering a cup of tea and a listening ear. In many ways, the endurance of British families through the 1940s was thanks to the emotional resilience of mothers. They not only kept homes running, but also preserved hope, warmth, and love in the toughest of times. Mums in 1940s. Britain were more than housekeepers. They were leaders, workers, teachers, and comforters. They rationed, mended, grew food, and soothed fears, all while holding families together during one of history's hardest decades. In the story of life in 1940s Britain, it is clear, mothers were the true backbone of survival and resilience. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.